Good morning and welcome to another edition of the newspaper review here on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio station, powered by the Diocese of Lagos Anglican Communion. Today is the 13th day in the month of April 2022 and the time is 26 minutes before 10 o'clock here. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoonradio.Ng. My name is Taiwo Adiola Shabioli, and I'm not alone in the studio. I have beside me Olabisi Simidele Okay.
Her name is Taiwo Adiola Shabioli. As her name implies, her name is Taiwo Adiola Shabioli, aka DJ Sha. And my name is Olabisi Simidele. Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Taiwo. Good morning, Lagoon Radio. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. It's indeed a good morning. Yeah, without wasting much of a time, we have the Daily Trust this day, Business Day, Blueprint Leadership, National Economy This Nigeria, Nigerian Tribune, New Telegraph, Nigerian News Direct, and The Authority, the Nigerian Pilot. We have Daily Independent, Midweek, Al Jazeera, because today is Wednesday. We try as much as possible to touch all these papers this morning. All right, I'll be taking the front page of the Daily Trust. We can see boldly written, survivors recount day of terror in Plateau villages. And the writer to that says, Muslims, Christians among victims. Assailants said they were after men, says a woman. My father was killed because he could not run. Invaders come from neighboring Taraba. All of these you can read on page 4 of the Daily Trust. Moving on to the top of the paper, local government polls. APC sweeps Castina, PDP clears Adamawa. BART SIM cards won't be unblocked without NIN linkage. Says federal government that you can get that story on page 27. But I feel some people have done this before. I don't know why the problem keeps
No, I think the BART SIM issue is actually should I say one Ken Romero like. I actually experienced it really, and I'd already done my NINCs last year. I'd registered and linked to my numbers. I used MTN and Glow lines really. Then my Glow line has actually been rectified. I didn't have any cost to go to their office anyway, so I had to just do some, if you want to know, just call me. So I had to just find a way around it, and but the MTN is still bad really, and I don't even have strength to go and start. And really, when I linked my lines, they were both validated and verified. So I actually did not understand the reason my lines should still be bad anyways. But my Glow is active now. Thank you.
But if you really have the opportunity, just do it and just
At least one. At
so
least
you can have peace of mind because it's really important.
no. At least one line. One line is active.
Put on hold because of it.
Really, my Glow line is actually my main line, so that's why it's like I don't actually care.
If you have the opportunity, please do it. If you haven't, killings. Northern elders ask Buhari to resign. That's on page 5. At the very bottom, 3 remanded for kidnapping 72-year-old woman from Lagos Mosque. That's on page 24. What do you want to use this woman to
72
do?
years. No. Maybe worst case scenario could be for a ransom.
From
Maybe
the children.
she's from the children. Maybe she has been investigated and found qualified for ransom.
It's just unfortunate.
So
25
unfortunate.
killed in fresh Benue attacks. That's on page 4. Again, Senate passes Peace Corps bills. That's also on page 4. And that'll be all on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper.
Okay, let me fast forward to this day papers, and the major headline says Buhari senators others flay play to killings, says act heinous, unforgivable, and insists perpetrators must face a wrath of the law, and Nigeria on the verge of collapse. Kuka warns and readers on insecurity. As 23 killed in fresh attacks on Benue community. Northern elders also call for president's resignation. Killers and other criminals appear to have detected a paralyzing vacuum at the highest levels of government, and they have grown more confident and competent in subverting the state and our security. You can continue reading the full story on page 10 of these day papers. And right at the top, all LCCI predicts Nigeria's debts may hit 45 trillion naira in the fourth quarter of year 2022. And this year's budget now projected to have a deficit of about 7.35 trillion naira. That's also on page 10 of these day papers. This is on high food prices. Federal government directs release. Okay, federal government directs release of 40,000 megatons of grains to Nigerians. That's on page 6, and we hope the voting will circulate or carry. Okay. NLC threatens solidarity strike with university workers. That's on page 5. And you know, this ASU strike, I know that it's been on for months now. And the Nigeria Labour Congress is now threatening a solidarity strike with university workers. God help us. Okay, the president seeks Senate approval to raise 2022 subsidy payment to 4 trillion naira, adjust fiscal framework to raise crude oil benchmark to $73 per barrel, and practically from $62 per barrel is actually the benchmark. The crude oil benchmark has been proposed to be increased to $73 per barrel, and also demands additional 182.45 billion naira for police. That's also on page 10. I think we have a lot of stories on page 10 of these day papers. And lastly, on these day papers, this is from IU. PDP's NEC decision on zoning out soon as committee submits report. That's on page 59 of this day papers. That'll be all for this day papers.
All right, moving on to the Blueprint newspaper. At the top, we have 2023. Oshibanjo Udom takes bid to NAS. Bello rejects zoning. And the writer to that says, Saraki Tambuwal Bala Ayatuddin meet Ikpeazu. Uguayi over consensus. That's on page 16. PDP Autumn Committee submit report. The story is on the front page, and you can continue reading on the inside of page 6. And the major story there, we can see the Russian-Ukraine war. Still on that, Buhari seeks review of 2022 fiscal framework. And the writers to that says, I want oil benchmark raised to $73 per barrel. Increases subsidy to 4 trillion naira. Demands additional 182.45 billion naira for police. Reserves decline to $39.5 billion March 2022. Europe, Asian economies to shrink by 4.1% over war, says World Bank. That one is on page 22. Nigeria's oil supply to Asia drops. India tilts towards Russian. That's also on page 23. And every other story that we can get on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. Moving on quickly, we'll achieve Nigeria's maritime expansion without war and litigation, says Buhari. You want to find out more? You can check out page 7 of the Blueprint newspaper. BMO to JNI and others. Terrorists, bandits can't overrun Nigeria by 2023. We reject it. That's coming from me, really. We reject it. And that's on page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. Also on page 5, we'll see Benue mourns as herders killed 23 in fresh attacks. Moving on to page 7. Many shot, 13 hospitalized in New York railway station. Moving on to page 9 of the Blueprint. Insecurity, 4 million to face severe food crisis in Northeast soon, United Nations has said. And moving on to page 13 of the paper, we'd see on the inside that Easter federal government declares April 15 and 18 public holidays. That's
Friday
and
next Monday.
Monday, yes. And also on page 13, 1.7 billion naira debt. Court grants order against ABG to other accounts. think that'll be all on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper.
All right, I'll be taking the leadership papers and outrage over fresh 15% levy on Tokumbo vehicles. Like, seriously?
Yeah, I talked about that yesterday.
Like, seriously? Wow. Okay. And this is still on insecurity. Elders tell President Buhari, Northern elders tell President Buhari, resign now. That's on page 7. And if you need to read more about the outrage over fresh 15% levy on Tokumbo vehicles, you can get that on page 26 of the leadership papers. PMB asks NAS to raise fuel subsidy to 4 trillion naira for 2022. Also wants oil benchmark at $73 per barrel. And this is President Muhammadu Buhari asking the Senate to approve the increase in the estimated provision of premium motor spirit subsidy for 2022 by 3.557 trillion naira from 442.72 billion naira to 4 trillion naira. Wow, let me just analyze. 442 billion naira to 4 trillion naira. That's like by how many percent? Okay, so
You're asking the wrong person, really.
No, when it comes to money, you're an error anyway.
When it comes to money, I'm not an error. When it comes to calculation, I'm terrible.
Sorry, you're a terrible calculator.
So when it comes to money, please, I can calculate money.
Okay, so and the Senate has actually also received a report from the president to approve another loan request and adjustment to the 2022 fiscal framework. So you can continue reading that on page 7 of the leadership papers. And still on page 7, Niger governor others pay last respect to Mama Sam in Mina. And the major headline on the front page of the leadership papers, this on 2023, CSO's kick against consensus as mode of choosing candidates, slam political parties for subverting popular will, and say consensus violates aspirants' rights, will undermine 2023 elections, and consensus won't give you presidency. Yakasai Sanitel Igbo. That's on page 4 of the leadership papers. And moving to page 6, APC National Chairman, a deputy vacates Senate seats. And I have here, still on page 6, gunmen kill monarch, 23 farmers in Benue State. And lastly, on the leadership papers, on to page 10, we've been saying this, federal government declares Friday, Monday, public holidays. So should I say happy holiday in advance?
Yeah. All right, I'll be taking the national economy at the very top. Customs fresh 15% levy on Tokumbo vehicles parked protest. And the right after that says importers agent threatened to shut down port. Okay, I'm just gonna read something. Less than 1 week after migrating to the customs external tariff and reducing duty on imported used vehicles from 30% to 20%, the Nigerian Customs Service yesterday shermed another 15% National Automotive Council levy on imported used vehicles. And to this end, clearing agents operating at Tinkan Island and Port and Terminal Terminal Limited, whatever. Okay, have protested the new levy, saying it will further increase the price of vehicles, especially used ones. So much there to read, and you can continue reading on page 5 on the inside of the national economy. Fuel scarcity may persist as existing price regime encourages smuggling, and right after that says smugglers profit on Nigerians subsidized petrol. Buhari speaks 4 trillion naira for petrol subsidy in 2022 budget. Okay, so what appears to be an abatement of queues at the filling stations may actually prove to be temporal, as Nigerians' price mechanism for petrol encourages smuggling across the borders, profiting on Nigeria's subsidy. Already, petrol queues appeared to be resurfacing as yesterday. So smuggling creates artificial scarcity of petrol as the quantum of petrol intended for the local market is diverted to neighboring countries, and so many more to read on page 4 of the paper. Moving on to the bottom, 65% of pesticides in Nigerian market highly hazardous. That's on page 5 as well. Also on page 5, Pencom fault payment of 75% lump sum to retirees. Still on page 5, no British firm for Ajaokuta steel plant rehabilitation, says federal government. Now moving on to page 6, firm launches first mini grid in Nigeria, and that will be all on the front page of the national economy.
All right, welcome to these Nigeria papers. I'll be taking some different headlines because we actually have some headlines that are repeated. This on 2023, United Nations warns of voters' apathy. Meets political parties as IPAC promises to embark on mobilization of electorate. That's on page 5 of these Nigeria papers. And US dollar inflation affecting Nigeria, says Twitter founder does say. That's on page 15. And Daily Momodu says on page 16 of this Nigerian papers that APC should be ashamed of damage done to Nigeria. And I actually had to question this. Is it really APC or the personality? Because, okay, take for example...
Because they're coming out as a party.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop...
Your personality is also involved.
Yeah, majorly.
But your political career shouldn't stop who you actually are.
That's
who you truly are. Because once these people get to that position, they forget who they are. Their personality doesn't count anymore, even to them.
And the thing is, okay, take for example, if the vice president or the president or, if they just decide that, oh, we want to defect to PDP, they will still be the same set of people. So to me, the blame game, and this blame game, I call it a blame game because it's been on for some couple of weeks.
This is the time where all these things will definitely happen.
Exactly.
It's expected though.
Yeah,
it's expected.
Because since 2019, since the last election in 2019, I never really heard of something like this until the beginning of this year.
Election is here, and things like this, you expect it to happen.
Okay.
A is going to blame B, B is going to blame A. All fine.
But enough of the blame game for political propaganda. Let's just get serious for once. Right? Really, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit us generally. All right, let me, this is on page 15. This is the last one I'll be taking on this Nigeria. Nigeria generates 29.95 billion naira from electricity export in 12 months. And, the way I've been calling billion naira is like, is there a way I could just call it directly into my account? Like, as I'm calling it, let it be reflecting and let me be getting credit alert.
If only it works that way.
If only. We just be calling money anyhow. All right, that'll be all for the these day papers.
All right, there's a lot on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, but I'll try as much as possible not to repeat them. So there's something new on insecurity again. Northern Elders Forum asked Buhari to resign, and the right after that says Kaduna train attack. Terrorists asking outrageous ransom from victims' families, says government. Perpetrators of political killings must not be spared, says Buhari. Nigeria bleeding over banditry, terrorism due to lack of education, says ASU. All of these you can read on pages 2 and pages 16 of the Nigerian Tribune. All right, manufacturing agri sectors to suffer shocks in the second quarter, says LCCI. That's on page 6. Lassa fever fatality rises to 19.1%. And right at that one says 681 confirmed cases in 23 states, says federal government. That story is on page 11. All right, moving on. 2023, I won't submit myself to zoning in APC, says Yaya Bello. That's on page 4. You want to find out more. And we can also see on the front page, PDP zoning. Okay, we are not pursuing Northern Agenda, Saraki Tambuwal and Mohammed. That's on page 4, and of course we have the writers there. At the very top, Oshun Guba, Oyetola Adeleke, Yusuf Ogunbi, and 11 others make INEC final list. That's on page 4. Okay, and finally, our family mourns Ordinama Madu, National VP of UPN. That story is on page 3, and every other stories there has been taken moving forward.
All right, moving forward to the new Telegraph Papers, and this is directly from the World Bank. Nigeria, others ill prepared for debt, food crisis. Hey, on top of this case, you can continue reading on page 3 of the new Telegraph Papers, and I think in January, I actually saw a news about food prices getting higher by the second by June. Yeah, after the first half of this year, and really, I don't hope that would actually happen. So then, CBN to roll over 141.26 billion naira treasury bills today. So to follow that up, you can get that on page 25 of the new Telegraph Papers. And this is from Kalu. He says some presidential aspirants have no pedigree, and I think we need to trace some families. I think that's actually what it means. So, APC National Chair Deputy resigned from Senate, and we took that from our previous papers. That's on page 3 of the new Telegraph Papers. And 2023 mass resignation looms in Ondo as Akeredolu's 48-hour ultimatum expires tomorrow. That's on page 2. So there's a kind of mass resignation in Ondo State at the moment. And if you need to follow the story, you can get it on page 2 of the new Telegraph Papers. And this is on page 8 and page 30 of the new Telegraph Papers, and it's on Oshun Guba. INEC lists Oyetola Adeleke, 13 others as candidates. Also gets approval for rally. So that's on page 8 and 8, okay? We've taken the attack in Benue State, and I have this. Adopt UTAS amid our demand or strike continues. ASU says to federal government, says it's honorable for federal government to replace IPPIS with its homegrown solution. Also wants government not to play politics with the future of the nation. That's on page 2 of the new Telegraph Papers. And this says NEC we'll take final decision on zoning, says PDP. Repeating 2015 mistake will come with greater consequences. This is coming from Obi. And Bode George says failure to embrace zoning will be chaotic. You can get all the story on page 4 of the new Telegraph Papers. And study reveals, this is the last one on the new Telegraph Papers. Study reveals that chemicals in cosmetics may double diabetes risk. So get more details on that. That's on page 20. You can get it on page 26 of the new Telegraph Papers.
All right, because of our time, I'll take something new on Nigerian News Direct. Access Bank, GT Bank, BAT, others make LinkedIn's top 25 best workplaces in Nigeria 2022. That one is on page 15. I think I agree to that. LinkedIn is the top place where you can actually link up to get a job. It's actually very quick. Oshimbajo seeks Senate APC caucus support over presidential bid. That's on page 2. I smile. All right, moving to the bottom. We stop over 80 medicine products shipment from foreign countries, says NAFDAC MD. The story is on page 2. You want to have a follow-up. I think that's all. That's all. And at the top, we have Agro Cargo Airport. Will be ready in December. Governor Abiodun, that's on page 12. And every other story on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct has been taken before. All right. Thank you very much. I think this is much we can take this morning. Tomorrow is another edition of the newspaper review here on Lagoon Radio. You don't want to miss it. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter. It's at Lagoonradio.Ng. You can also download the Lagoon Radio app on Google Play Store and App Store, irrespective of the device that you use. My name remains Taiwo Adiola Shabiolebe, and
Olabisi Simidili, okay. Have a nice day.
Yeah, it's a good morning from us. Bye.
This is Lagoon Radio.